Hello and welcome back to Full Count, where I've been ranking the teams from 30 to 1. We are in the top 3 now, and if you clicked on this video, you know that I am going to be talking about the Chicago Cubs today, who I have ranked in the 3 spot in all of baseball. I know this might seem a little high to some, but I think most accounts, most of everyone probably has them as a top 7 baseball team, at least on paper, for this season. But they were good last year. They won 92 games. They were very good. And the over-under is 88.5, so we'll get to that at the very end. I'm going to go through the lineup first, and then I'm going to go through the pitching, and then we'll talk over-under, and I will pick which side of if I'm either going to go over or if I'm going to go under. So stay tuned to the end for that. And let's get right into this lineup. I think this team has the deepest lineup in all of baseball. And I'll explain why as we go down the road. Now, leading off in the 1 hole, you got Michael Busch. Last season was incredible for Michael Busch. He had 261 with a 343 on base and a 523 slug for an OPS of 866. He hit 34 homers and 25 doubles. Just pretty amazing production. He had an OPS plus of 147, which in that category makes him 47% better than the average major league hitter. That is pretty awesome to have in your leadoff spot. He finished 16th in MVP voting last season. He was just pretty phenomenal. He's a solid defender there at first. Last season, he was 94th in just overall batting run value percentile. He was 96th percentile in expected slug, 95th percentile in barrel percentage, 90th, you get the point, in average exit velo. So top of the league in a lot of the power categories. Although his bat speed is not that fast. He's 16th percentile in bat speed. He does strike out a bit. He does whiff. He doesn't chase a lot. And he takes his walks. So, yeah, that's why he's in the leadoff spot. He's a good leadoff hitter. He's still just 28 years old. So, yeah, really good player. He had a breakout type of season last year, and that is a great way to start this lineup. Now, the big signing for the Cubs this year was Alex Bregman, who last year only played in 114 games, but he was really solid in those 114 games. He had a 3.5 WAR. The batting average was 273 with a 360 on base, 462 slug for an OPS of 821. He had 18 homers and 28 doubles in those games. He was pretty good. He was an all-star. We know what Bregman is. I mean, he's gotten MVP votes 4 different times in his career. He's a 3-time all-star. Won a couple World Series rings. He's been a Gold Glover. So, yeah, really good signing for them. They get him 5 years, I believe, for $30-ish million a year. So really fun for the Cubbies getting a third baseman for a while, because that is a position that they've struggled at for a while. Matt Shaw was not productive last year. Christopher Morel before that was not productive. Ever since Chris Bryant really started declining, we haven't had a third baseman. So, yeah, the Cubs are definitely much improved in this category. I mean, as for Bregman last year, he's an elite contact guy, good at third, like I said, but yeah, 97th percentile in squared up percentage, 95th percentile in chase percentage, 92nd percentile in whiff percentage, and 88th percentile in strikeout percentage. So he's going to put the ball in play, and he's going to square it up in play. So that is always a good recipe. He's 31 years old now, so he's going to be entering his 11th season, I believe. So excited to see what Bregman can do in a Cub uniform, but we will wait and see. Speaking of another guy who is entering a late year, he's entering year 10, Ian Happ, and he has been in a Cub uniform for all 10 years. Last season was probably his second best season of his career. The expected numbers said that it should have been even better than it was, but it was still very good. He He hit 243 with a 342 on base and a 420 slug for an OPS of 762. He hit 23 homers and 32 doubles. He's kind of just awesome. He won his 4th Gold Glove in a row. He's a guy that has received MVP votes before. He's been an all-star. He's just a good all-around player. He's very consistent every year. The things he does well, he walks a ton. He doesn't chase. And then everything else is right about average. That's kind of what he does. He goes on streaks where he has some pop. But he always ends at good numbers. He's a good defender, like I said, 4 Gold Gloves in a row. He's got decent sprint speed as well, although he only stole 6 bags last year. But in previous years, he's been 13 and 14. So kind of a guy that I love. He's just a very solid player. You know what you're getting. He's going to hit about 240. He's going to hit a little above 20 homers. So it's something you can count on, and I really like Ian Happ. I think he is pretty awesome. Now for the 4-hole, you got Seiya Suzuki, who will be playing his 5th year for the Cubs this season. Last year was solid. He hit 245 with a 326 on base and a 478 slug for an OPS of 804. He hit 32 homers and 31 doubles in 151 games, so he played most of them. Finished 20th in MVP voting last year. He really had the best year of his career in the power department. So it was a fun year for Seiya. Finally eclipsed that 30 home run mark. He was 95th percentile in barrel percentage, 93rd percentile in chase percentage, and 94th percentile in launch angle sweet spot percentage, which is a little too nerdy for me, but I don't hate it either. He will be playing right field this year. Last year he was just a DH. He has a good arm strength out there, but he is a little sketchy in terms of just catching your routine fly ball. He's shown to drop those in the past. He has an elite bat speed. He hits the ball hard. That's what he does. He's going to slug. He is going to strike out. 24th percentile last season in strikeout percentage at 25.2%. So he's going to strike out. He's pretty fast, though. Also, underrated part of his game. The guy doesn't know how to slide, though. He got injured in WBC, but we've seen in the past that, he just doesn't know how to slide. So it's kind of a weird thing with him. But, elite arm strength out there in right, so that'll be fun to see for a full season. But, yeah, he's a good hitter. He produced last year, and that's really all you can ask for from your 4-hitter. And he got a lot of RBIs. I believe it was 100+. I didn't check that. And then Pete Crow Armstrong in the 5. He was awesome last year. We know that. He was a 6-WAR guy. Really impressive. He hit 247 with a 287 on base, which is obviously very ugly. But a 481 slug is nice. 768 OPS. He hit 31 homers, had 37 doubles, and he stole 35 bags. Really awesome. He finished 9th in MVP. He won a Gold Glove. He was an all-star. It was truly a breakout season for Pete. In terms of what he does on the field is incredible. 100th percentile in range, which is outs above average. 88th percentile in arm value out there. And 94th in arm strength. He's 99th in fielding run value. 96th percentile in base running value. His sprint speed is 96th percentile, all elite. Now, this is where it gets bad. He doesn't take any walks, and he chases a ton. 2nd percentile in chase percentage, 4th percentile in walk percentage. He strikes out a lot. He whiffs a lot. The bat speed is above average. He barrels the ball very above average, and his expected slugging numbers were very above average. His expected batting average was right around where it ended up, so that's a good sign. It's not like he overperformed in that department. But no, Pete is he's just a very valuable player, even with all of the downside. So there's a lot more to his game if he can just bring it out. I mean, a 287 on base is very, very bad. He's only 24 years old, so I think he will learn how to walk, and he will improve that number. So I love Pete in the 5-hole. And then this lineup stays deep because here's a guy with a WAR of even more than Pete last season, a 6.2 WAR for Nico Hoerner. He hit 297 with a 345 on base and a 394 slug for an OPS of 739. He hit 7 homers and 29 doubles while stealing 29 bags. Really, really good season from Nico. He won his second Gold Glove. He finished 19th in MVP voting. He is as elite as it gets when it comes to the contact part of baseball. 99th percentile in whiff percentage, 99th percentile in strikeout percentage, 96th percentile in squared up percentage, 98th percentile in expected batting average, 98th percentile in range in the field, so he's elite defensively. 97th percentile in fielding run value, 96th percentile in base running run value. Yes, he has no pop, but not everybody needs to have pop to be a good player. Nico is very valuable without pop. No reason to add it. He's the player that he is. He's going to hit for a high average. And you love that in the 6-hole here. Now, as for the 7-hole, there's not a lot of guys who can say that there's not a lot of teams that can say that their 7-hole hitter hit 24 homers last year. And the Cubs were able to say that. He hit 24 homers and 24 doubles. Dansby Swanson hit 244 with a 300 on base and a 417 slug for an OPS of 717. He's received MVP votes 3 separate times. He's gotten 2 Gold Gloves. He's a 2-time All-Star. Dansby's a very good player. He's just going to show up every day, play great defense. That's what he does. Like I mentioned, the 2 Gold Gloves, 85th in range there at shortstop, 85th percentile, I should say. And, he barrels the ball up, hits the ball hard. He's going to slug a bit. The expected batting average, by the way, last year was a lot better than what he actually ended up with, so I think that's a good sign. He's a good base runner as well. He's really smart on the base paths. He stole 20 bases last year, and I didn't even mention that. So that's really awesome. And like I said, above average fielder. He is a very good player. Now, he's a guy that I'm actually really excited to watch this year because he's been talking about he changed his offseason. He wanted to see different results. He wants to see something go. And he has been tearing it up in spring training. Not that spring training is any indicator of success, but I like that he came out and said that he did things differently, and he's kind of backing it up right now. So I think that is a good sign for Dansby. But again, even if he does what he did last year, the 7th-hole hitter hitting 24 homers is awesome for your baseball team, and he's going to play elite defense. Dansby Swanson's a very good baseball player, and I do think he's starting to get a little underappreciated by Cubs fans. He's a good ball player. Another guy that I am super excited about in the 8-hole, Moises Ballesteros. We only saw 20 games out of him last year, but they were beautiful. He hit 298 with a 394 on base and a 474 slug for an OPS of 898. He hit 2 homers and 2 doubles in those games. It's only 20 games, so you're not going to look too far into those numbers. In AAA last year, though, it was very similar. He hit 316, 858 OPS. He had 13 homers and 29 doubles. He just kind of does it. He just rakes. The bat is legit. He's going to play everyday DH here, and it's well-deserved. It's also worth mentioning that he can catch. Not very well, but if needed, it's important that we have a third catcher, and he is that third catcher. So kind of fun there as well. Carson Kelly had a monster season last year, and he is in the 9-hole here. He had 249 with a 333 on base and a 428 slug for an OPS of 761. He had 17 homers and 13 doubles in 111 games played. He was worth 3.6 WAR, which is by far the best year of his career. Now, my hot take kind of with the Cubs this year is that Carson Kelly will become secondary to Miguel Amaya. I think Miguel Amaya is very good. But no, Carson Kelly's also good behind the plate. I am going to talk about him because He didn't chase last year. He didn't whiff. He didn't strike out. He squared the ball up. He took his walks. He really was impressive. But behind the plate, he was also impressive. He ranked 90th percentile in caught stealing above average, so throwing runners out. 91st percentile in blocks above average, so really just helping out our pitchers, throwing runners out. He really did a great job last season. He'll be entering year 11 in his age 31 season this year, so excited to see if Carson Kelly can repeat what he was able to do last year. Can't say that I think he will, but still think he'll be solid. Now, I put Seiya in this lineup, although he will not be there opening day. So probably Michael Conforto or Matt Shaw. Probably Matt Shaw will be playing right field. But Scott Kingery made the opening day roster. I don't expect to see much of him, but the bench looks like, well, when Seiya's healthy, the bench looks like Matt Shaw, Miguel Amaya, Dylan Carlson, and Michael Conforto. Really good bench. I like it. Guys that have proven themselves in the majors, and then Miguel Amaya is a very good backup catcher. And Matt Shaw is a young, intriguing player that the bat really turned around in the second half last year. I think he could really turn some heads this season. I think he's going to be good. Another guy that looks really, really good in spring. He made a lot of swing adjustments. The only injury that they really have in terms of position players is Tyler Austin, who was the backup first baseman that they signed from Japan, who was a former Yankee, whatever. He was supposed to hit the right-handed pitching. But given that he's injured, I think Bush is kind of just going to get the full runway against lefties and righties, which I think he deserved anyways. So yeah, excited to see that. Now let's get into the starting pitching. Matthew Boyd was awesome last year. He was an all-star. He threw 179 innings with a 3.21 ERA, following up his 2.72 ERA season in Cleveland, where he pitched in the playoffs that year and pitched very well. But no, last season was great. He really produced 1.091 whip as well. Like, he was just very good. He ranked 97th percentile in off-speed run value. He was 90th percentile in just overall pitching run value. He didn't walk anybody, 86th percentile in walk percentage. So I really like him. Do I expect him to regress a little bit? Yes, I do. Do I think he should have been the ace? No, because the next guy would be my ace. And let's just get right into him. Cade Horton. What a monster rookie year for Cade Horton. 118 innings with a 2.67 ERA. He finished second in the Rookie of the Year. He should have won it. ERA plus of 144, making him 44% better than the league average pitcher in that stat. He was 89th percentile in pitching run value, 78th percentile in fastball run value, 81st percentile in breaking run value, 82nd percentile in off-speed run value. So you get the point. All very good. 72nd percentile in fastball velo at 95.7. He pretty much sat 96, 97 all game. He got some chase. He didn't walk a ton of guys. He really didn't get a lot of strikeouts and didn't get a ton of barrels. But, yeah, I'm really not worried about Cade Horton. I think he is very good. He's only 24 years old. He has electric stuff. His fastball runs up, like I said, to 97, and it cuts. That is pretty rare to see. The only worry with him is maybe injury, because he has had that a lot in his past. But especially with a guy that throws a cut fastball is a little bit of a worry. But yeah, Cade Horton's a dog. I think he's very, very good. And I think he will be very good this year. Shota Imanaga definitely had a down year last season, but it's not like it was the end of the world. 3.73 ERA and 144 innings pitched. He did deal with some injuries throughout the year, but it wasn't like his 2024 season where he was phenomenal. 2024, he threw 173 innings with a 2.91 ERA, finished 5th in Cy Young, 4th in the Rookie of the Year voting, and was an All-Star. Last season, he fell a little victim to the homers, which we kind of figured would happen, but The whip was better than last year. He did really run into the homer problem, which we knew a guy like that who does not keep the ball on the ground. He gives up a lot of fly balls. We knew that might happen. But I really do think a comeback year for Shota is gonna happen. I think the stuff is nasty. I think the splitter is pretty electric. He does have strikeout stuff. I mean, shoot, 2024 he led all of the National League in strikeouts per walk ratio. So he's very good. Well, he can be very good, I should say. Playoffs were a nightmare last year, though. There's no denying it. But I'm excited to see what Shota can pull off this year. I think he can be a very good pitcher. Now, in the 4 spot, Edward Cabrera. They traded Owen Casey for, who I think is incredible, Owen Casey. So obviously they like Edward Cabrera, and I do too. The fastball ranks in the 87th percentile in terms of velocity. It averages 97. It gets up to 100. The breaking run value was 94th percentile last season, 88th percentile in off-speed run value. Now, even though his fastball is very fast, it was not valuable last year. Was actually very poor. He ranked 5th percentile in fastball run value. Hitters hit 267 off of his four-seamer last year, and 370 off of his sinker. Really bad stuff there. But he has electric stuff, and I really do believe in the Cubs pitching factory. Last season also wasn't that bad. Very similar to the guy we'll talk about next. He threw 137 innings with a 3.53 ERA, 1.23 whip. So really fun stuff. He dropped his arm slot a bit last year, which really helped him. And he got a lot of chase, gets a lot of whiffs, he gets a lot of strikeouts. He's that type of guy. And the Cubs haven't had a strikeout type of guy in a very long time. So I think it's very exciting to see him at Wrigley. Jameson Taillon in the last 2 years has been honestly phenomenal. 2024, he threw 165 innings with a 3.27 ERA. And then last year, he threw 129 innings with a 3.68 ERA. He did deal with some injuries last year. Now, I said phenomenal, but it's really just he's been a very above average pitcher for a guy who started off his Cubs career in the dumps with a really bad 2023 season. So he really just has looked a lot better than what has been expected. But no, he's put up a lot of good years in the bigs before, like 2018, which is obviously a long time ago, but that's 191 innings and a 3.2 ERA. Very good. I really like J-Mo. He looks terrible right now in the spring, but I don't read too much into that. I think he'll be fine. And yeah. Now, in terms of depth, I think this is one of the best rotations in terms of depth. And one of those reasons is because Justin Steele, who is injured, so he is not listed on this starting rotation, but he will be in there, and you better believe he's probably the second best pitcher out of all those guys. So Justin Steele's legit. We know that. Another guy like Colin Ray was awesome last year. He started a lot of games for us. Had a 4 ERA. Javier Assad was very good as well. So those are two guys that are fun. Javier Assad is actually starting the year in AAA, which is interesting because he's been a very good major leaguer when he's been up. In terms of the bullpen, kind of got a lot of guys left last year, but they still have some returners like Daniel Palencia and Caleb Thielbar, who they re-signed. You got Phil Maton back there, Hobie Milner, and Hunter Harvey. Those are kind of your main guys that you're looking at. Now, the reason I'm so high on this Cubs team is all depth related. I just think no team has depth like this. You can go through any lineup. I mean, let's just play a little game here. Dodgers. Let's just do it. First base, Michael Busch. First base, Freddie Freeman. You probably take Freddie Freeman. 1-0 Dodgers. Watch this. Third base, Alex Bregman. Third base, Max Muncy. Cubs. Left field, Ian Happ. Left field, Teoscar Hernandez. Ian Happ. and I've looked into it. Right field, Seiya Suzuki. Right field, Kyle Tucker. You take Kyle Tucker. Center fielder, Pete Crow Armstrong. Center fielder, Pages. You take Pete. Second baseman, Nico Horner. Second baseman, Haesung Kim. Or, I don't know, Tommy Edman. You take Nico. So we're 4-2 right now. DH, Shohei. You take over Mo Baller, you do. And catcher, Will Smith. You take over Miguel Amaya or Carson Kelly. So we're at 4-4. Did I miss somebody? I clearly did. What did I not count? Pete, Nico. Oh, Dansby shortstop. You take him over Mookie lately. But maybe you don't. So it's really a debate. My point is to say that the Dodgers have the best lineup in maybe baseball history. And the Cubs are right there with them in terms of position by position. Like, obviously, the Dodgers lineup is better than the Cubs. I'm not saying that. But if you go position by position, the Cubs hang with absolutely anybody. You go through the Yankees, it's night and day. I'll do it again. First base, Michael Busch. First base, Ben Rice. You probably take Michael Busch, but maybe if you're a Yankee guy, you take Ben Rice. So in this case, I'll just give you Ben Rice. Alex Bregman, third base versus Ryan McMahon of the Yankees. You take Alex Bregman. Ian Happ, left field versus Cody Bellinger. I'll take Cody. Seiya Suzuki, right field, or Aaron Judge. You take Aaron Judge. Pete Crow Armstrong or Trent Grisham. You probably take Pete. Second base, Nico Horner or Jazz Chisholm. Debatable, but I go Nico just because I gave them the edge on Bellinger. Dansby Swanson, shortstop. You take him over Volpe any day of the week. DH, Mo Baller or Giancarlo Stanton. You probably take Stanton. Catcher, Carson Kelly. Based off last year, you obviously take him over Austin Wells. That is 5-4. And you really could argue that Ian Happ is more valuable than Cody Bellinger at this current day. But I would understand if you didn't. Point is, we're right there with the top teams. They really just position by position are very good. Now, the over-under is 88.5 wins. I think you guys know where I'm going with this one. Pretty easy over for me. I think they win the division. I think they're one of the best teams in baseball. I have them ranked 3 for a reason. It is not a I just think it's like even the rotation. Edward Cabrera could be incredible. Cade Horton is incredible. Matthew Boyd was incredible last year. Shota has been great. J-Mo has been great. He's shown no reason to not believe in him other than spring training, which is not a reason. Justin Steele's been great his whole career. So yeah, it's a really fun rotation. It's a really fun lineup. It's a deep lineup. It's a good bench, and it's a pretty good bullpen. So I like the Cubs this year. I think they are going to be the third best team in baseball in 2026. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like. If you enjoy the channel, if you enjoy the episode, subscribe. If you're trying to hit some Cubs games this year, there's a SeatGeek code right there. Feel free to use it. It's $20 off your first purchase. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. And let me know what you agree and disagree with below. I would love to hear it all. I will argue it all. We can debate in the comments. So yeah, let me know. But until next time, we will see who I have at number 2 and number 1. I think you can figure it out. But stay tuned. It'll be out very shortly. Thank you guys for watching, and go Cubbies. Peace.